To discuss this and a lot more, we are now being joined by Ben Aris, who is the founder and editor-in-chief of BNE IntelliNews and also the former Moscow bureau chief for the Daily Telegraph. Thanks for joining us, Ben. Right, Ben, now since yesterday we've been talking about the G20 Summit, the fact that it was a big diplomatic win for India. Now Russia has also commented and called the G20 a success, and this obviously has to do with the language, the very diplomatic language. Tell us more what you make of Russia's statement.
Indeed, the key here was a declaration by the G20 as a body about the war in Ukraine, and they had to come up with something. They had to condemn it, but the problem is that this statement was very weak language. It was obfuscated, as you said. The declaration itself didn't name Russia at all, and the reaction from Kiev was like, "Thank you for the support," and to condemn the war. However, this falls far short of what we want to see, which was a black and white condemnation of Russia's aggression in Ukraine. But it's a political win for Modi in so much as, out of this very disparate group, 20 plus countries plus blocs, they had to come up with some sort of statement that was acceptable to everybody. And within the blocs, you've got China, you've got Russia, who are not going to condone any sort of condemnation of the war in explicit terms. But on the other hand, you've got India, you've got South Africa, you've got Brazil, who are all much more liberal, much more relaxed, and they wanted to see something a bit stronger. And so it was going to be extremely difficult to get wording that everyone would accept. And what they did was come up with this watered-down statement, which the Russians are quite happy to see because, it was a mild slap on the wrist at best, whereas the Ukrainians and their allies, they wanted to see an absolute condemnation by the emerging world of the war.
Right, but Ben, would you agree when I say that the Russia-Ukraine war didn't upend the G20 as many had hoped it would? Because the big hurdle was that the global leaders, once they sat down, would not be able to agree on common language when it came to the war, and many thought there would be no joint communique to begin with in the first place.
Indeed, I think the expectation going into this that there would be nothing, that they would fail to agree, because you have to, in the G20, on one side you've got the United States and European Union who are in attendance, and on the other side you've got China, Russia, who are also members, and that seemed like an impossible task to come up with some sort of formula that worked for everybody. They managed to do it, and as you said in the preamble, that this was a huge.
WION World is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news updates on the move.